no big deal. We just, casual talk, so I can ask you some questions. You know what? I wanted to ask you, like, how long have you been in the clan? Because I've been playing somewhat when the game actually started, and I
Okay.
noticed that Quantum Web has been around for a while. You
Quantum,
know,
correct. Quantum Web started off, well, back in the day, I think it was Canadian Rage and then turned into Quantum Rage. Back about 8 months ago, months or so, it turned into Quantum's Web, which Quantum Rage merged with Web.
right? I remember raids. Actually, there's a lot of Quantums that I
Yeah,
remember.
tons.
Man, so okay, you guys went from Rage to Web, and that's basically, I guess, signifying that you're a web together. You're just bringing all the clans together, or what does that mean?
Well, obviously, with the Quantum Rage original clan, we merged with the clan Web, which was called Web. So then it just became Quantum's Web.
Right. Now, what?
So we took two big clans, Quantum Rage back then was probably three or four in the world, and then it became and Web was probably around 8 or 9. So we merged together to create Quantum's Web to have a higher ranked clan.
Yeah, I've noticed you guys have been pretty much on leaderboards most of the times.
Right.
It's fluctuating. Even with the top players, they keep fluctuating.
Sure,
And I think
we have people go out and visit all the time. Visit their old clans that they came from. Obviously a lot of guys go back into the feeders, visit some friends from back in the feeders. So,
would you guys say that you have, like, I guess, a lot of loyal players to keep the name up there?
oh yeah, exactly. We probably have about 500 players in the Quantum family. Yep. If you go through all the little feeders that we have between QW1, QW2, QW3, QW4, Quantum Chill, I mean, and the list goes on.
Now, what's your role in the clan? Are you a co-leader or your elder?
Well, our leadership is not one sole person. It's a group of people. So we transfer it back and forth because you always want coverage, day and night, and especially in the top clan because you have players from overseas, you have players from the U.S., and it keeps it moving better.
Yeah, I could. I wish our clan was like that. I try to lead it, but then there's so much stuff you have to do, and I'm glad they do they have the new co-leader thing where a lot of people, because it's just a status thing from
Correct.
from from what I see. Like, everybody's asking for elder now, so I mean, I don't mind giving elder now if they're potential candidates.
Right, because back in the day before they came out with the co-lead, if you gave Elder to the wrong person, you'd wake up and you'd be, two people in the clan that kicked everybody out.
Have you guys had that?
Not not in the main clan, no, because like I said, it's a group of people that run the clan, so it's not the sole responsibility of one person to take all of control.
Okay. Well, I've actually had an incident where that did happen to me, and you think you could trust people, and then you come back to your website and there's porn all over it. Like,
Yeah,
dang.
yep, oh yeah, it was crazy, but the co-lead is a pretty good deal. Obviously now everybody could be Elder. The co-lead is a new responsibility, so which is nice.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
if one of the leaders fell asleep and something happened, you got a co-lead that can step in and obviously do the same thing he does.
Well, I wanted to. You know what? I didn't even ask for your name. Dang. What was your name in the game?
It's Pied Piper.
Pipe Piper. Okay. Now, I need to ask you some things. Like, how do you feel about so far the progress with the game? There's been a lot of changes, like with the loot, the infernal towers.
Hmm.
I guess the way the witches work now, hog riders. There's just so much stuff going on.
Well,
And of course,
go ahead.
the whole thing about revenging people. Could
Right.
you just, like, maybe give me some insight how how the changes have affected you?
Well, basically, let's go back to when they first started with the witches. I mean, this we're talking what 6, 8 months ago. That changed the evolution of the game because it became more progressive on attacks than even playing defense because there was no way you were going to win a defense. And then they nerfed the witches, and then they brought the hogs, and then they nerfed the hogs. Actually, they nerfed the hogs twice, and people nowadays still use hogs, which has changed the complex of the game.
Yeah, but you know what? The hogs actually sucked really bad. They went like they were like barbarians basically until they changed it so that they went for weapons. You know?
Correct, correct. It was a wasted troop. It's kind of like a Valkyrie. Who uses Valkyries anymore? Nobody. There's a lot of
Me.
wasted troops, but oh yeah, I tried
I
to.
play him with a
Right.
Boom Beach character. Yeah.
Okay.
They're not. Yeah, I know what
And
you
who
mean.
and, and
They're
who
harder to
who
use.
who even uses needs 11 level 11 walls anymore? You can use the jump spell all day long and jump golems right over the level 11 walls.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Okay. Now, do you have problems more with air attacks or is it all ground attacks where you're at?
I play both. I can do air attacks. I can do ground attacks. I can use hogs. I can use witches. You can use the golem whiz attack and dragons. I mean, dragons are good for always getting 1 star. I've never been a minion person, but the dragons, like, you can always 1 star with dragons. But again, you get into the cost of you know making dragons. What's better? Hogs is the cheapest armor you can assemble right now.
Yeah, yeah, and you can always catch people off guard, but I think you can't really use hogs if you're fighting with multi towers, right?
No, no, actually, no. You can 1 star any base with hogs with no matter where their CC is or no matter where their king and queen is. You can always 1 star base with hogs now.
How do you feel about the Inferno Tower changes? Like, do you feel maybe having two multis rather than two singles are better, or just switch them off to a single and multi?
I don't even play mine on multi anymore. I keep it on the single because of the king and queen. With their new abilities, if obviously a multi tower hits a king and queen, it takes 5 minutes to kill a king or queen. So I always leave it on single. So I mean, I don't have any feelings towards either way. Some people like it on multi, some people like it on single.
Dang. Well, you're gonna have to put some good traps or something because
Well, yeah, it
I
depends on.
feel it's pretty hard to defend your base now. You know, it's like every time you look at your base, someone's already attacked you, and you're always losing. Well, that's how I feel like where
Oh
I'm
yeah,
at.
you rarely ever win it unless someone screws up and drops a bunch of rage out in the yard. That doesn't do them any good.
Yeah,
Done that a
exactly,
couple times.
exactly.
But let's go back to
Um,
the revenge
okay.
and basically what everybody called cheap shielding back in the day. This is what changed the complex of the game as well. Now, obviously, top players had multiple accounts, and everybody I think has a misunderstanding of how this actually worked. When you have multiple accounts, if you're at 4,100 cups, well, back in the day there was, mate, when I was ranked one in the U.S., there was maybe 12 players over 4,000 cups. Now they took the revenge away, and there's 89 players over 4,000 cups.
Wow.
So
Okay.
huge difference.
Uh huh.
Well, revenge still works, and the only way revenge works is if someone skips your base. So if someone's searching, your base pops up, they skip it, revenge automatically you can use it.
So do you feel
Which,
that was like I guess a good move on Supercells to make it like somewhat of an even playing field or
well, here let me go back to what I was talking about revenge before they changed it. High level players had multiple accounts, so they would try to find themselves. Well, to find yourself, you have to be in a certain cup range. 500 cups, 600 cups. If you're at 4,100, you got to be at 35, 3,600 cups to find your other base. Well, it's not a perfect world because with the mini accounts, when you put your base out there, you don't find it every time. So basically, they took away all the top players using 3 or 4 accounts, keeping them accounts at 35, 3,600 cups to find
that's crazy. How do you do that?
4 iPads.
I could barely keep my own.
Yeah, well,
Just one account.
when you're heavy into COC, I mean, and you're trying to get to the top spot, that's what you had to do. There was no way
That's
because again,
dedication.
it hours and hours and hours, weeks and weeks, and a lot of money.
Yeah, man, that's dedication.
right.
I'm thinking it's just like this drive to get to number one. It has to be that.
It is.
I think everybody wants that just to be number one.
It truly is a drive to get to number one. I mean, look back a couple weeks ago before they fixed this. Before they set in the 6 hour attacking, before you have to sign off.
Oh
Muhammad,
yeah,
the number one player in the world, he sat at the same cups for 2 weeks straight, and
yeah, I think so. I remember
nobody could
them.
figure out how he was doing it.
Yeah.
So
I
obviously, there's an iMod out there that keeps you online for as long as you can possibly be online, and they figure out how to glitch past the 8 hours. So
yeah,
again, I don't know how they get into all that stuff, but
yeah. I know that. I think with the last update, Supercell mentioned that they were doing stuff to get around all this stuff. So I'm sure like now they've tried to make it so that it's all fair
right.
and it's even.
No, I
So
agree. I mean, they've made changes to try to make it better and even playing field for everybody, which I understand completely. But now it's gotten so bad. I mean, even at between the ranges of 3,600 cups and 4,000 and beyond, the searches are endless. I mean, all you see is clouds. You'll get one cup here, one cup here, one cup here. Then you'll get a retry 15 times before you find another base. So I don't think the game was ever intended to be over 3,500 cups.
yeah, me
And
neither.
when they came out with the witches and hogs, it totally changed the realm of attacks, and everybody was going crazy.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking that it could be in the possible future that Supercell is gonna release this new update for Clan Wars. So
Right.
I'm wondering if this thing could actually make it so that it won't be such a cup drive anymore. Rather, it would be like a clan versus clan where
I think
whoever is the strongest clan will be the number one.
okay. Well, I play another platform, which obviously I'm sure you've heard of the other game. I won't say it out loud, but I'm sure you know which game I'm talking about. That has Clan Wars.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, and that game it's fun for everybody. You know what I mean? Obviously, I've been on the forums and with COC, and it's farmer based.
Hmm.
Well, in the other platform, everybody gets a chance to jump in and pitch in to help their clan to beat the other clan, and then you win, diamonds or gems. It's a perfect game. But then they also have the other realm of it, which you still have a high cup player. They can still reach the top of the leaderboard.
Right. Okay.
But see, they need to fix the cup system. That's where they have to figure out how to get rid of, on the other platform, obviously, if you attack someone, you get 5 cups. If you lose 24 cups. And it's always the same over and over and over again.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
So.
There's a set limit on how many cups you get.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. Well, is that system better or is that worse?
In my opinion, that system is better. But COC has the best graphics I've ever seen. They have
It
and
does.
they give you a multitude of, troops and armies to build. I mean, it's hands down they have the best graphics of any other game. But
Yeah, and
I think
I
the other
think that's
platform has better perks to it.
yeah, Birder Perks. I think that's pretty much why Supercell is probably a little bit more successful in that area, is just because it's more polished,
Right.
and
Oh
it
yeah,
just
totally.
feels like a better game.
And everybody wants to play, COC, but like I said, in the last 3 or 4 months, it's gone so bad that I see people leaving every day, and it's like, wow, we can't stand looking at clouds anymore. It's an attack game, and we can't even attack.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Dimmer's world, and you got the Farmer's world. So I mean, there's two different biases there as well. You
Well,
know,
what exactly what's keeping you playing? Is it because of your clan, or is it just you're
it's
still
I
driving to get to the
my
top?
no, I lay low. I'm probably around 3,600 right now. So I'm not even, I'll go on for an hour here and there just to see what's out there and get frustrated and just log off. Done with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
they don't.
again, it's a fun game to play, but you want there's risk and reward. If you're a gymmer and you're wanting to attack and you're spending 500 gems in attack and you're only getting one cup at a time, how far do you really want to go?
Yeah, that's. I honestly don't see how, because I enjoy, attacking and just chilling in my base.
Right, no,
I'm
right,
not trying to
exactly.
go that
But
high.
but see, I obviously I've had several accounts. I've had 8 accounts at one point, and I get down to
Holy
the